This show's brought to you by
the PIF is attracting pharma and biotech manufacturing to Saudi, and the profitability of GCC-listed banks jumped 25% last year. You're watching the Daily Brief with Forbes. I'm Ramia Faraj. Saudi's Public Investment Fund is creating a new entity to attract pharmaceutical and biotech companies to invest in drug manufacturing in the kingdom. Lifera will manufacture life-saving and essential pharmaceutical products, including plasma therapeutics, cell and gene therapies, and innovative small molecules. Lifera will create partnerships with local and international firms and attract investments to grow local capacity and drive domestic manufacturing in the sector. It will advance formulation development, medicine development, and manufacturing, as well as testing services. Iraq's National Investment Commission and Qatari firms have agreed to develop $9.5 billion of projects in Iraq. Qatar's UCC Holding and Iraq's Investment Commission inked a 25-year public-private partnership for 2 power plants, which will cost $2.5 billion to build. The plants aim to reduce Iraq's reliance on Iran for its energy needs. Doha-based Istithmar Holding also signed deals worth $7 billion to manage hospitals, develop 2 comprehensive cities, and build 5-star hotels with 10,000 rooms in Iraq. Kuwait's oil production capacity is expected to reach 3 million barrels per day in 2025, up from the current 2.8 million barrels. Kuwaiti officials say they plan to invest $42.5 billion in oil projects over the next 5 years. Kuwait has boosted oil product exports to Europe, Africa, Asia, and the Americas. Analysts say Kuwait aims to boost these exports from its new Al Zour refinery this year to fill in Russian shortfalls in Europe and meet growing demand in Asia and Africa. Egypt has signed an agreement with the International Financial Corporation, the financial arm of the World Bank, to provide advisory services for its privatization program. IFC will support the structuring and preparation of companies set for privatization. Officials say IFC will also improve corporate governance in a way that enhances capital flows and supports the country's vision to achieve economic recovery. The IFC will advise on the government's asset monetization program, which will focus on harnessing private capital and know how to manage state-owned assets. Profitability of GCC-listed banks in 2022 jumped 25.3%, driven mainly by growth in loan books, increased interest margins, lower loan impairment, and a continued focus on cost efficiencies. KPMG says asset growth remained robust as banks increased their asset base by 9.9%, driven by lending to high-quality customers. Net interest margins increased by 0.2%. The overall non-performing loan ratio for the GCC banking sector decreased by 0.1% and now stands at 3.8%, reflecting the conservative approach to credit risk management. A free trade zone agreement may be finalized by the end of this year between Iran, Russia, and other countries spreading from the borders of Eastern Europe to Western China. Russian officials told state media that talks between the Eurasian Economic Union are in their final stages. Despite tighter ties between Moscow and Tehran since Russia invaded Ukraine and began buying Iranian-made drones to attack the country, trade between the two markets has grown only moderately. Russian-Iranian commodity turnover rose 20% in 2022. The Paris Air Show opens today after a 4-year break, with the aerospace industry bouncing back from the pandemic but under pressure to slash its carbon footprint. The aerospace industry is flocking back to Le Bourget Airport outside Paris as aircraft makers field hundreds of orders and airlines brace for record passengers this year. Le Bourget offers a forum to announce deals with some 2,500 firms lining up to show off their latest planes, drones, helicopters, and prototypes like flying taxis. And Elemental had one of the lowest performing opening weekends in Pixar history, bringing in $29.5 million in domestic sales and $17 million from international markets. Elemental cost about $200 million to make. Despite solid reviews and projections for a $35 million premiere weekend, Elemental fell well short of The Incredibles 2, which was Pixar's best performing release, earning $182.7 million in its opening weekend. I'm Ramia Faraj. This is the Daily Brief. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.
This show is brought to you by